Hola, hola, hola. Uy, ay, lo siento mucho. Estoy
Hola.
atrasada. Wow, I am behind. I was having a hard time getting people off the previous call.
Yo también.
Go.
Llegué a mi casa en Arizona ayer.
Ah, llegaste ayer. Bienvenida, bienvenida. Welcome back. Bienvenida. Excelente, sí,
Gracias.
bienvenida. Fantástico. ¿Y cómo está la casa? ¿Está todo en orden? Everything
Sí.
in order?
Oh, sí.
Bien, bien.
Cuando,
Excelente.
cuando, sí, cuando salió todos todos.
¿Todo estaba organizada?
Cuando salió, cuando salió, sí.
Cuando saliste, todo estaba muy organizada. Bien. En mi casa no hay nada que está organizada. ¡Y ay! ¡Qué problema! Ok. Bueno, ok. Bienvenidos y bienvenidas. Y espero que ustedes estén bien. I hope everybody is well. ¿Sí?
Sí.
Fantástico. Ok. Vamos a practicar con el pasado, como siempre, ¿no? Porque es un tema muy profundo. It is a deep, deep topic. So the more examples you see, the better you'll get. Eventually, after a couple of minutes here, I'm going to say after about 5 or 10 minutes, we're going to move to these pictures eventually, para que sepan, so you know. So if you like to bring those up on a screen, I did send you the link for these last week, right? See? Okay. Yeah, if you bring it up on a screen, that's fine, although you will have it on screen with me, but I know some people like to do that separately. Quiero darles un poquito de tiempo para preparar. Okay, lo primero que quiero hacer, the first thing I want to do, lo primero, la semana pasada, les envié, I sent you guys, les envié este video que es un cuento que comí una vez, un video de un cuento en que la protagonista nos dice, she tells us, que comió por casualidad, by chance, brownies con marihuana. ¡Ay! ¿Qué cosa? ¿Tienen ustedes preguntas? Now, she did a really slow pace through that story. Yeah, see? She did a very slow pace on purpose because she knows it's past. And ¿tienen preguntas? Do you have any questions about anything she used in there? Any structures she used or what she meant? Oh, no. ¿Fue todo muy obvio? Was it all pretty obvious?
And it was enjoyable.
Yeah. It's a cute story. She tells it very tongue-in-cheek.
Yeah.
And she is an actress. Ella es actriz.
Me gusta mucho esta mujer porque habla lentamente.
Sí, habla lentamente, sí. Ella es actriz. Su profesión es actriz, es actriz y ella sí sabe hablar lentamente y sabe repetir. She knows how to repeat y es lo que necesitamos. It's what we need. Okay, bien. Okay, fantástico. Ahora vamos a empezar con otra historia y es importante porque es una historia que se trata de algo cultural y ustedes van a escuchar estructuras en pretérito, en imperfecto, y ahí se trata de esta temporada. It is kind of about this time. Es de La Llorona. La leyenda de La Llorona. Llorona, el término llorona, que quiere decir weeping woman, ¿sí? Viene del verbo llorar. Llorar es to cry. Entonces, podemos cambiar llorar, el verbo, al sustantivo, into the noun. Llorón would be a crier who is a guy. Llorona es alguien que llora, pero es mujer. Y bueno, porque acabamos de celebrar Halloween aquí en Estados Unidos. La Llorona es una leyenda. No está relacionada muy fuertemente con Día de Muertos. It's really not connected to Día de Muertos, which follows our Halloween celebration. Hoy es el último día de Día de Muertos. Today would be the closing last day of Day of the Dead, which has only a very slight connection to Halloween in that they're both related to the old Catholic tradition of having All Saints Day. But La Llorona is not strictly connected to that, but it gets connected to that because of its being a spooky story. La Llorona is a legend that is pulled out by parents and grandparents who want to scare their kids into behaving, literally. La Llorona is a character kind of like what we would call a boogeyman character in English culture. Little kids, I'm sure psychologically this is not a great practice, but little kids are sometimes told, you misbehave and La Llorona will come get you. You get out of bed, you get out of bed when I tell you stay in bed. And if you hear La Llorona, she comes to steal away little children. It is kind of like this book. I know, my gosh, the psychological damage, this would not be considered okay, but it is what it is. Okay. Pero para nosotros es buen método, it's a good method, es buen método de escuchar más del pasado y de la mezcla de los tiempos, a mixture of tenses. So we're going to listen to this for a bit. And this comes, I believe, with captions. So I don't think I need to click on that, but I will monitor that as we go along. Okay. Pueden ver la mujer. You can see the woman, ¿sí? Bien.
Sí.
Y ella también es actriz. She's also an actress, so she's very, very expressive. And she speaks very slowly.
¿Estás escuchando ese llanto a lo lejos? Es el llanto de una mujer llorando.
And you're going to hear lots of, oh, look, we've even got the andos coming in. Una mujer llorando. And we don't have está llorando. We've just got llorando. Weeping, sobbing as a description of mujer, a woman who is doing that. Llanto also means the cry, the shriek. Yeah, a llanto is not just a little like weak sob. Llanto is like a, gut-wrenching kind of sob, that crying, kind of crying.
Parece que está lejos.
Seems to be far away.
Ya va. Un momento. Pero si la estoy escuchando lejos, eso quiere decir que en verdad ella está muy cerca. ¡Ah! ¡Ay, Dios mío! ¡Es la Llorona! Cuenta la leyenda que hace muchos años, en los tiempos coloniales, una joven fue abandonada por su esposo cuando nació su segundo hijo.
So start to notice how she uses preterito. So she just sets it up. It's preterito here. The second child was born. By the way, this legend runs through all of Latin America. Almost every country has a different version of La Llorona. The circumstances are always tweaked a little bit when you move from one country to another, but all of Latin America has this. Spain does not. It isn't a Latin American thing.
La mujer enloqueció.
She went nuts.
No sabía cómo podía cuidar de los 2 niños ella sola. Una noche, desesperada, fue hasta el río y
An event.
ahogó a sus 2 hijos.
An event.
La gente del pueblo lo supo.
An event, they found
La
out.
condenaron a muerte
An event, they
y
condemned her.
además le cayó una maldición. Desde entonces, el espíritu de esa mujer vaga por las noches cerca de los ríos y los lagos.
She always walks near rivers and lakes. Yeah, that's part of the legend because she drowned her children. And probably sometime really long ago, stuff like this happened because somebody was left destitute or cheated on or what, I don't know. We don't really know. Probably this sort of thing happened because, bad things happened in life. And so this legend got repeated and changed, and it probably happened in more than one country. So here you go. But do notice when she talks about feelings in the past or descriptions in the past versus events.
Llora arrepentida al asesinato de sus hijos. Va vestida de blanco de los pies a
She's
la
always
cabeza.
dressed in white.
A veces también lleva el rostro tapado por un velo
She
blanco.
sometimes has her face covered with a veil.
La llaman La Llorona
They call her La Llorona.
porque su terrorífico llanto es inconfundible. Ay, mis
And that's what they always say she cries.
Grita la Llorona desesperada. Dicen que si
They say that
escuchas
if you
sus
listen,
gritos y llantos muy cerca, es porque en verdad la Llorona está muy lejos. Pero si los escuchas a lo lejos, ella está muy cerca. Algunas personas dicen que la Llorona viene a robar
comes to
niños
rob children
que están
because she
solos de
lost
noche.
hers.
Otras personas dicen que viene a castigar a los hombres infieles y a los hombres que abandonan a sus esposas.
Yeah.
Y lo más increíble es que la Llorona aparece en todas partes de América Latina, desde México hasta Argentina. En algunos lugares cambia de cuerpo y de ropa, pero siempre es ella. La Llorona es sin duda alguna la leyenda de espantos y aparecidos más famosa de América Latina. Es decir, es el personaje de terror más popular en los países hispanohablantes de América. Esta leyenda tiene muchísimas versiones. En cada país o incluso dentro de un mismo país cambian varios detalles de la historia. El punto en común es que se trata de una mujer que mató a su hijo o a sus
event.
hijos y su alma vaga en pena por
And now
eso.
present, she
La
wanders.
leyenda, como la conocemos hoy, surgió en la época de la colonización española. En esta época comenzaron a aparecer varios registros escritos en español de esta historia. El lugar en el que encontramos más referencias es en México. Se cree que la historia se originó allí. El personaje de la Llorona se asocia a muchas diosas y entidades de las culturas prehispánicas. Se asocia a muchas figuras de las cosmogonías de los pueblos originarios de América. Suelen ser diosas o entidades relacionadas con la muerte, el inframundo, la fertilidad, la venganza, la guerra, el castigo, la lujuria y la maternidad, entre otras características. Por eso, esta leyenda es una muestra del sincretismo en América Latina, es decir, de la mezcla de culturas. Durante la colonización, muchos mitos indígenas fueron reinterpretados por los colonizadores. Y la cultura de los colonizadores también transformó la cosmovisión de los pueblos indígenas. La Llorona es fruto de esa mezcla, pero destaca más su función moralizadora dentro de la cultura colonial. En algunas versiones se trata de una mujer condenada por quedar embarazada sin estar casada. En otras es condenada por quedar embarazada en una relación infiel. En otras la condena es porque no quiere cumplir con su papel de madre. Y hay versiones en las que la condena es para los hombres infieles, los hombres muy fiesteros o los hombres que abandonan a sus esposas. Aunque a veces también se usa este personaje para asustar a las niñas y a los niños que no quieren ir a dormir. La leyenda de La Llorona aparece en varias obras de la literatura latinoamericana. También aparece en series de televisión, películas. Incluso hay una película animada mexicana sobre ella. Otra referencia que muchas personas conocen es la canción popular mexicana La Llorona. Esta canción tiene muchas versiones y se desconoce su autoría original. La cantante Chabela Vargas hizo famosa esta canción fuera de México con su versión que apareció en la película Frida, sobre la vida de Frida Kahlo. Más tarde, otra versión popular fue la que apareció en la película animada Coco. Pero esta canción habla sobre la leyenda de La Llorona. La realidad es que no se sabe muy bien. Algunas fuentes dicen que sí y otras dicen que no. Dicen que en verdad se trata de una trágica historia de amor. Nada que ver con la leyenda de La Llorona.
Ok, bien. Bueno. And if you ever get a chance, if you have Disney Plus on cable, I believe Coco is on Disney Plus, I believe. Where's it, HBO? No estoy segura. Anyway, Coco is a great movie to watch because it was a very well done video talking about the celebration of Dia de Muertos and, you know, wrapping up a very interesting story around that. You can definitely get it in a Spanish version and get both Spanish language and subtitles going. So I recommend that because it is the season for Coco. So, okay. Because it does bring out the idea of family and so the celebration of family, which is really what that Dia de Muertos thing is about. And La Llorona is just, you know, it's a scary story. It's a story for campfires. It's a story for scaring kids. It's a scary story that almost all cultures tend to have. Okay, a ver. Bueno, vamos a practicar. We're going to practice. Let's do some practice with our pictures, con las fotos. I'm going to, quizás, I think I'm going to split you into a couple groups to work this pictures by 2 picture groups, okay? And then come back and compare some ideas. So, entonces vamos a empezar aquí con esta idea, talking about the past, hablando del pasado, pretérito imperfecto. There are no right or wrong answers once you get into these pictures, and I will send them into your breakout rooms. We'll only need 2 separate groups, but I do want to give you a chance to talk a little bit. So you can talk about what people did before this picture was taken. You can just talk about the whole situation in the past. Lo que quieran, whatever you want, but I do want you to practice using past and deciding should, is it more appropriate to use pretérito imperfecto? So I want to give you, maybe I'm thinking about 5 minutes per 2 picture group. Does that sound about right? Sí? Okay. En grupos pequeños, in smaller groups, and I think that will work, and you'll have 3 people to work with. And I will send the first picture into your group once you hit your join buttons. Ooh, yeah, I'm getting new Zoom things. I gotta get updated on some new stuff they're doing with Zoom. Now I'm getting different different commands on Zoom. I gotta update what I do with that. Okay. A ver. Bien. Cinco minutos. Let's set this for 5 minutes. Un minuto más. Bueno, ustedes tienen un minuto más para terminar y acabar el ejercicio. Bien, bien, bien. Aquí vamos. Ok. Aquí vienen. Aquí vienen todos. Bien. Vamos a ver, vamos a ver. Aquí están todos. Here's everybody. Ok. Bueno, entonces, ¿cuáles son sus ideas? What are some of your ideas? Are there any ideas you would like to share that you worked on in your groups? And I'll put these pictures back up. Por ejemplo, aquí, la foto de la mujer que ve mucha ropa.
La mujer se decidió por el vestido más colorido.
La mujer decidió, no es decidirse, solamente decidir,
okay.
pero sería, sí, decidió en un traje colorido. She decided on a colorful outfit.
Or can it be por el vestido más colorido?
Decidió, ok. Vestirse sí es reflexivo. Entonces, la mujer decidió vestirse de un traje colorido. ¿Qué quiere decir? The woman decided to get dressed in a colorful outfit. Es la idea, Trish.
Well, I was trying to say she decided on the more colorful, vestido. I was trying to say
Vestido.
Dress.
Sí,
Dress.
en un vestido. Ok, bien. Decidió vestirse de un vestido colorido. She decided to get dressed in. ¿Sí?
Okay.
Ok, bien. Y se viste de. You get dressed in a certain way, like with a certain color. And that de is usually the little preposition used. But you've got the main idea down there. Bien. Ok, hay otra idea.
Ella no podría decidir qué vestido ponerse.
Ella no podía, she could not decidir
¿Qué vestido
qué vestido
ponerse?
qué vestido debía ponerse. Yeah, she should. ¿Sí? O qué vestido quería ponerse.
Okay.
Which one she wanted to. And with that, con eso, sí, es muy, sería muy natural decir, no podía decidir, she couldn't decide.
Decide.
Yeah. Podía, sí, y debía ponerse o quería ponerse, bien, bien. Ok, bueno, hay otra idea. Any other
Well,
ideas that were good?
Pregunta.
Sí.
Could you just quickly kind of, at least help me, on the difference between using poner and vestir in
Sí, ok. Ponerse, y esto sí es importante, ponerse indica put on, okay? Put on, and the implication is your body somewhere. So we use ponerse with crema solar, with sunscreen. We use ponerse with joyas, jewelry, joyería, jewelry. We use ponerse with clothing, obviously, see? La ropa, los zapatos, camisetas, chaquetas, una gorra, lo que sea, whatever it is. So ponerse, to put it on your body. Vestirse is to get dressed. Do they talk about the same activity? They do. Are they exact synonyms? No, but they talk about the same activity, okay? So vestirse is used more to talk about just saying, just getting dressed or getting dressed in a certain color. Quite often it's used with that. Por ejemplo, la Llorona se viste de blanco. De blanco. She's dressed in white. So vestirse is, yeah, just get dressed. Okay. Okay. Vale. Sí, está bien, Marcos. Is that good?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So the difference is, yeah, that's the difference in English. That's what they mean. They're both related ideas. And you could use either verb to talk about that picture for sure. Bueno, hay otra idea de esta foto. Is there any other idea with this photograph? No, vamos a pasar a la otra. We're going to go into the second one.
Mark, ask her the question you had about the friends and the two verbs you were thinking about using.
Okay, on the second picture there.
Right.
Yeah. Well, on this one, I struggled a little. I was on the imperfecto or preterite.
With the clothing or the other one?
The drinking, the eating and drinking there. So I wrote los amigos bebieron mucho cerveza. And I was still kind of struggling with whether, bebieron, it's sort of like it's the event that they were drinking beer, or
Okay.
the more general description of
Es buena pregunta.
bebiaban.
¿Bebían o bebieron, no?
Yeah.
Okay. Y tengo una respuesta. I've got an answer for you. If we're just talking about what they did, bebieron is probably more appropriate. Okay. Ellos bebieron mucha cerveza. They drank a lot of beer. Okay. Bien. Now, it would not be wrong to say, ellos bebían mucha cerveza. But if you phrase it with bebían, then it means they were drinking. They were drinking. And the person listening to you is going to say, it's describing. There's something else coming afterwards. This won't stand alone. Okay. So they're thinking, oh, you're starting a description. What else? So they're listening for more information that will describe, like, ellos bebían mucha cerveza. cuando llegó la pizza que pidieron. They were drinking a lot of beer, were drinking, when the pizza they ordered arrived. So with bebían, it's not like it's automatically wrong, no, but they're probably listening for, well, and what else happened? Sí, ¿entiendes?
Yes, yeah.
They're expecting that there is, you got, ooh, we don't want to just leave it hanging there. Or you could phrase it, or they might be expecting something like, ellos bebían mucha cerveza cada fin de semana durante el partido de fútbol. Something that happened frequently. They're going to expect bebían to be accompanied by a description of habit or a description of something else, maybe that interrupted. Okay. Bebían leaves people kind of pendiente, hanging for, well, and what else? The next step. ¿Entiendes? Understand? But just by itself as a statement of, wow, these people drank a lot of beer, the best thing would be the simple past, which we call preterito in our English explanations. Ellos bebieron mucha cerveza. Wow, they drank a lot of beer. That one time, that one evening, that one afternoon, whenever that was. Okay?
Yeah, I had the same question on that one, but my head, ellos tenían muchas fiestas juntos. Ellos son buenos amigos.
Son buenos amigos, they're good friends.
Yes.
Son buenos amigos. Y la otra parte, Mariana, the other part, Marianne?
It was tenía muchas fiestas juntos.
Tenían muchas fiestas juntos. They had a lot of parties together. Okay, and you see why we're saying there are no right or wrong answers with these. There are lots of different things you might say to describe a picture. See, they had a lot of parties. And I don't know how many. They just did this a lot. And there, you definitely do not want tuvieron pretérito.
Okay.
Yeah, no way. That would be like, no, because tuvieron, tener in particular has a very specific meaning when you put it into pretérito. It has to indicate something over with, and it's more like got. So people use tener in pretérito to say things like this. La mamá y el papá tuvieron un nuevo bebé. The mom and dad had a new baby. They got a new kid in the family. Yeah, they had a baby because that was an event. So it is used to say they had a baby, not to say they had 5 children over the years, but, oh, they just had that kid. They just had that baby. Okay. Oh, por ejemplo, mi nieto tuvo un perrito para su cumpleaños. My grandkid got a little dog for his birthday because he got that little dog. So yeah, using tuve, tuviste, tuvo, tuvimos, tuvieron, that gets more of a got, received meaning. Okay. But they had parties. Tenían makes much more sense. Much more sense.
So that's I am so confused with this. I'm still like, I'm kind of lost in that. This past is really, really past tense. I'm really having trouble with this.
Okay.
I think I'm the only one here. Like, who's
probably
not really
not.
correct.
No,
No, no.
You will never
trying,
be the
but
only one.
well, you just told me that mi nieto tuvo pero so you
Got
say para
adopted.
su cumpleaños.
Sí,
So
para su cumpleaños.
that you use tuvo, but still have to explain. You still have to give the description
Oh,
para su cumpleaños.
Oh, no tienes
So
que
you
hacer.
use
don't have
that
to do
one
that.
is a preterito, no? Tuvo.
That one is pretérito, sí, tuvo. Tuvo es pretérito. Okay, so here's the difference, Juanita. Let me just paint it. And by the way, don't feel like, oh my gosh, I'm such a loser. No, this is really hard stuff. This is hard stuff.
I'm really having a hard time doing. And also, I'm sorry, I'm trying to compare it with the one that is, over here that you're just writing down about ellos bebían mucha cerveza cada fin de semana durante el partido. Then I can see, okay, so this one, because it has the explanation, the description, then's got to be imperfecto, right?
This is imperfecto.
Yeah, so that's why there is
because I
explanation.
Put that in. Now, Juanita, if I took out that phrase, cada fin de semana, let's say I take that out, por ejemplo. Let's say I take that out.
So you cannot say cada fin de semana without durante si partido, el partido de fútbol, right?
Okay. I see where you're going, I think. Even if I put in cada fin de semana, just to make it obvious that it's a repetition every weekend. Okay. Because that little phrase gives you that nugget of time related information, that it's repetition, and therefore it's got to be bebían. So in other words, if I plug in an idea specifically like cada fin de semana, no one is ever, it would sound glaringly wrong to take bebieron and inject it into this cada fin de semana sentence. That would strike somebody as that's just so wrong. Okay. So in other words,
got it. Because this is cada fin de semana, because it's kind of like a habit, like doing it not just one time.
Exacto. And I don't know how often, just like lots, right? Yeah.
So the explanation about this is just an additional information, like durante el partido de fútbol. Is that?
Yeah. It's telling me it was a weekend, but maybe not all day while the game was on.
Okay.
That's all it's telling. Now, if I took out that little phrase about cada fin de semana, it would still be okay to use bebían, because it would still be that by using that verb bebían, it conveys the idea of they used to drink a lot of beer during games. And even if it doesn't specifically say cada fin de semana, that verb by itself indicates, oh, they did this a lot. There must have been repetition.
But again, back to the sentence that you just made about your grandkid, bought the dog para su cumpleaños.
Let's get a little screen for that. See, okay, I'm going to show you two things that are very different.
I'm sorry, everyone. I'm so confused here.
Do not apologize.
This is good. To hear it over and over again is beneficial.
Te prohíbo que pidas perdón. I forbid you to say I'm sorry. Juanita, please know I have had through the years students who studied all the forms, got everything like A+ right on conjugating all the verbs in their second year of Spanish, and they did that all correctly. And they would still say at the end of the year, I'm so confused. Why do I do this? And I kid you not, come back in the next year, they study it again. And after about 2 weeks, they'd be like, oh, this is starting to make sense. This is starting to make sense. And the reason it started to make sense was that they had now seen probably about 200 examples. I kid you not. It takes, the light bulb goes on a little bit differently for everybody. I kid you not. Let's look at the dog. Let's look at the dog. There are two things. And now, mi nieto tuvo un perrito. I'm just going to leave it there.
Okay.
Mi nieto. And I could also say mi nieto tenía un perrito. They're both correct, but they convey different ideas. They convey, here's what tuvo means. Mi nieto, he got a doggy. He got a doggy. Somebody gave him that doggy, or he went into a pound and got that doggy. We don't know where, but he got a doggy. It talks about the event of when that doggy came to be his, came to belong to him. Okay.
Okay.
Tuve un perrito. That the specific verb tener, in preterito, tener is one of those verbs. There are certain verbs that do this, but not all. It's one of a group of verbs that does somewhat change its meaning in preterite versus imperfecto, literally change the meaning. Tener means to have, but when we plug it into the idea of preterito, it shifts the meaning more into got something. It came into that person's possession. So it emphasizes the moment when that little puppy landed in his little arms or walked into his house. Okay. And I could leave that sentence alone with no other extra phrases.
Yeah.
And somebody would hear, mi nieto tuve un perrito, and they say, ooh, and they would think, oh, he got a doggy. It's new. Their first reaction would be, oh, it's new. It just came in his house. Okay. Versus this, which is also correct. Mi nieto tenía un perrito. He had a doggy. He had a doggy. Well, how is that different? Tenía un perrito just means he had a doggy, not the day it walked into his house. He had a doggy throughout his childhood. Maybe he just had it. It's like the same thing of saying, I'm going to stand up to show you. Whoa. It's the same idea of I had a phone in my pocket.
Okay.
Tenía un celular en mi bolsillo. I had a phone in my pocket. Not that it magically appeared. I didn't receive a phone in my pocket. It was just there. That's just a description of wherever that phone was. It wasn't in my purse. It wasn't in a pocket here. It was in that pocket. Okay. Tenía, yeah. So he had a doggy. So tenía means I'm not limited in time. Tenía automatically tells somebody not limited in time. We're not emphasizing how long he had the doggy or exactly when it first came into his house. We're just saying that he used to have a pet.
Okay.
He had a pet. Whereas this one verb,
You just got one. You just got one. Is that what it is? Okay.
And it's emphasizing that this happened. He had no pet before, and now all of a sudden it came into his house. It is emphasizing the beginning of when somebody got that. Okay, so let's look at another one with tener, because tener is kind of a special situation. It is not like all these other verbs like beber or even decidir, anything like that. Okay, let's look at another one. Somebody says, you call a friend on the phone, say, tuve malas noticias. I got bad news. And it's emphasizing that this just happened.
How about the people up there that they got a hangover?
Oh,
Is
yeah,
Is
yeah.
that tuve? Tuve?
Tuve una resaca. Yeah, I got a, well, sure, could be. Yeah, sí es posible. That's possible, right? Okay, let me give you another example with a different verb, not estar, but a different verb. And the difference between preterito and imperfecto. Let's take estar, and I'm going to say, mi hijo estuvo enfermo. Estuvo enfermo. Estuvo enfermo en su clase. My kid got sick in his class, in his classroom. Estuvo automatically, so, that's when that started.
Okay.
Versus, I might say, mi hijo estaba enfermo con la gripe. My kid was sick with the flu, and I'm not really emphasizing when it came on. Just, he was laid up, and I'm just describing that. These verbs can automatically by using one tense versus a different one can conjure up a different idea.
Okay.
And the idea conjured up by preterito with estuvo is I got sick. The onset of when I started to feel ill, or when he started to feel ill in this case.
Okay.
Yeah. And this is why when it finally clicked for me, and believe me, it took a while. Okay. When it clicked for me, I had a whole different perspective when I heard stories and read stories, because I could see as people were changing from one tense to another, whether it was description or an event, whether it was, oh my goodness, this thing shocked him, versus, oh, he was shocked at the state of the political discourse in his country. He just felt that way all the time, versus, oh, this event happened and it just got him all thrown up in a tizzy all of a sudden. You start to look at a story differently as being a boop event versus ooh, this is how people were feeling. But it is not unusual to really need some time for that to settle in. And I kid you not. This is why it is a long process. Literally, it can take 1 or 2 years for people to get used to it. Like they can understand it mentally on one level, but understand a part of it and feel unsure. But the more stories, this is why I send so many of those little stories, the more stories you hear, the pattern starts to be, oh, that's familiar. And it takes just a ton of hearing examples.
Speaking of stories, Marilyn,
This is normal.
the pot brownies, that was
Wasn't that great?
that was good. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
But
You should be happy, right, Nora?
yeah, that's right.
You got 2 of those.
I
Yeah.
thought she was making dog food for the dogs, but then
I thought so too.
Before we go to the next picture, can I just toss one other out on the that picture we were just looking at.
Sí, claro. Sí.
Kind of in honor of the work we were doing with Gustav. A los amigos le gustó la fiesta.
Les gustó?
No.
Well, I said le gustó,
Well,
but
if you're talking about the friends, if you're talking about the friends liking it, it's got to be les.
Less.
okay, so now I just got a little confused over the idea that we did the conjugation of Gustav for the, whether it was singular or plural for the object, not for what's really the subject, the party, rather
Subject
than
is
for,
la fiesta, right?
Yeah.
Technically, the subject is la fiesta. And
right.
technically, the les is who likes it or liked it in this case.
Okay, I'm going to have to kind of do a rewind in my head on this at some point.
Okay.
It's, I guess, yeah.
So if
I
I'm
feel
looking at
like-
these people, I cannot say le gustó la fiesta because that would mean only one person in that group liked it. If I said le.
I think it like the party was pleasing to them. That's how I remember it's lace.
Yes, to
okay.
them, right. It's to them. The les means to them. Les gustó la fiesta. Now, and it may be conveyed either way, by the way. It may be either one of these.
Okay, I think I just got squared away. That was helpful. That the less as in the plural of them, but the gusto is the singular, third person singular for one party.
Exacto.
Sorry about that. Yeah,
La
was,
fiesta
yeah.
determines that this has to be a singular verb.
I just kind of lost it for a minute there.
Sí. Les gustó la fiesta would be talking about a particular party, and probably, this is another one, not too unlike the my grandkid got a dog example. Les gustó la fiesta. This is probably something that would be said when they got home, right after the event. Okay. It means somebody's asking, well, what was your impression of that after it was just over with recently? Les gustó la fiesta. Wow. Yeah, they liked it. They liked it. This indicates a reaction to that event. Preterito. Okay. And maybe it might be more common. It might be perhaps more common to express this with gustaban this way. Les gustaban las fiestas. And notice now I have to make it gustaban. Les gustaban las fiestas because now I'm not saying la fiesta, but las fiestas. I'm talking about parties in general.
Right.
Not a particular one, but just in general, parties. They liked parties. Okay. This would be a little more natural thing to say if you're talking about what this particular group of friends enjoyed doing together. That's a general rule in the past. Oh, they liked parties, they liked playing basketball together, they liked watching movies on Netflix, just what in general they like to do. Then imperfecto probably is more appropriate because you're talking about what they usually, as a matter of their preferences most of the time, used to do. Okay, they liked parties. Whereas this is probably what somebody says after they walk out of the friend's house where the party was held, after they come home from the party, somebody asks, ¿te gustó la fiesta? Well, did you like the party? Meaning they're asking you, what was your reaction? What was your gut feeling after you experienced that one event. ¿Entienden? Understand? It's kind of a very, well, it is. It's a very abstract thing. This is hard because it's very abstract. Very abstract, but putting these verbs into one tense or the other does convey, it gets a vibe. It does carry a vibe with it. Okay, let's do some practice with the next one here. Bien? Good so far? Okay. Was 5 minutes good for you guys? 5 minutos, sí, son suficientes. Is that enough?
Sí, sí.
Son suficientes. Ok, vamos a ver, vamos a ver. Y tenemos todos aquí. Wow, I do not see Juanita. ¿Dónde está?
Oh, yeah,
Not have your
I
name.
was
You came
late.
in a
I'm
little bit
sorry.
late.
I was
No,
late.
no. Está bien. You're good. I'm just seeing, I should be seeing your name to add you in, and I don't see it yet. I'm going to
And
see it.
it's okay if I'm not in the group because, you know, I think I am still confused about how to do it on
Don't-
the part on that, you know, the picture. I
Don't worry
wasn't
about it.
really ready about that. So
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We're going to
okay.
plug, we're going to rearrange things just a teeny tiny bit so that we've got some things distributed a little bit more. Bien. Okay, and I will send the next picture into your rooms once you hit your join button. Okay. A ver. 5 minutos.
Time.
Oh, did it send you back there,
Oh,
Juanita, or
I
no?
don't know. I was with Marianne and then I don't know what's going on.
Oh, wow. It booted you out. What did it do that for?
I was
Oh, hang
talking
on.
to Marianne.
Hang
And
on.
then,
Oh, wow. This is a really weird thing.
all
Okay,
of a sudden I'm
hang on.
here. I don't know.
Okay. Whoops.
Okay.
No, wait. Hang on.
Okay.
Now you should be able to get in, I think.
All right.
Do you see a join button, Juanita?
Yes. Yes. Okay. I'll click on that.
Indian, that's fine.
Okay, there we are.
Oh, Mariana, I'm sorry. You know what?
I lost Juanita. She was
Yes,
there. and
you did, but I have to send you back in. So give me a moment.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, now you should get a join button into that same group. Oh. Oh, it didn't do it yet. Hang on.
That's okay.
I know, no, I don't know what happened. She got the boot, and for some reason it's making me move you to different rooms. Okay, now,
I'll try this one.
yeah. I don't know why we got this is a Zoom. This is on Zoom's end here. Okay, wow. That's a Zoom glitch. I'm gonna have to check on why that happened. I can now broadcast into rooms. I just got a new ability with Zoom. Okay. I'm going to tell people that we're going to end up soon. Bueno, oh, no, it's not. Bueno, vamos a regresar al grupo entero. Wow, I wonder why it did not let me broadcast there. I have many new features on Zoom I did not know about. I guess I got to go back into tutorials, just like you guys have to learn. Darn, I got to learn it. A ver, bueno, entonces, les quedan medio minuto. They've got about a half a minute left. Y van a tener preguntas. Por cierto, vamos a empezar con las preguntas dentro de poco. In just a little bit, we'll start with any questions they had about that. Tenemos una foto de una médica con su paciente y un padre, un abuelo quizás con su hija. Bien, ok, a ver.
Marilyn?
Sí, sí, sí.
Nora had to leave, but one of her examples was, if I can remember it, La Niña escribió su tarea mientras su padre, she was going to say watch television. So that would be, would that be miró?
Ver.
Ver, would that be,
Ver.
she wondered if it was imperfect or, it didn't interrupt, but you have
Okay.
mientras.
La niña escribió su tarea
Mientras
mientras
su padre.
su padre veía
Okay.
la televisión, la tele, ¿sí?
'Cause-
The girl wrote her homework. She got that done while her dad was watching TV. So in the background,
Right.
her dad was watching TV and she got this little thing done. Okay. But now it could be expressed as escribía su tarea mientras. It could be expressed either way. So here's the difference between the two. La niña escribía su tarea mientras su padre veía la tele. She was writing homework the whole time that her dad was sitting with the tube on. Okay. But if I change it to escribió su tarea, it means in the middle of his watching. He was watching before she started. She sat down. She had a quick little assignment, wrote it out, oh, done. He was the whole time still watching. He was doing that before she started. She started and got this done fast, and then he continued doing that. That's the difference in the meaning.
Right, but after mientras, is it always imperfecto or only if it's interrupt?
Usually imperfecto, sí, sí, sí. Mientras se asocia con imperfecto.
That's
We
what I thought.
associate mientras with imperfecto
Okay.
because while, well, it's a really subtle thing.
Right.
When says something interrupted. When indicates an interruption, therefore preterito.
Okay, so
But
even if it's
mientras says it's going on for a while. For a while.
it is confusing, because I'm like, that's not interrupting anything, but yet.
Well, but the escribió would mean she kind of did it in the middle and then stopped.
Okay.
And yeah, it conveys that idea.
But if it was escribía, escribía
would
it
change
don't-
it to they're both happening simultaneously at
Okay.
the same time.
so it doesn't affect the veía. Okay,
Right.
okay.
So
Okay.
what about if you put cuando,
Instead of-
cuando, yeah, cuando era.
Well, I'm not going to have mientras and cuando
No,
probably
just replace it with
ah,
mientras.
Okay, then, okay. Oh, so in other words, we're getting rid of mientras and we're putting in a
Yes, yes,
cuando.
yes.
Cuando su padre, well, now we got to think about this. When her dad watched TV, probably more like he turned on the TV. Because you got to have an event that truly interrupts, not something that was going on for a while,
Okay.
right? And watch TV, it's not like, oh, I looked, okay, I'm done. Yeah. It could be with like, I saw a bird. That could be,
Okay,
vi un
okay.
pájaro, I saw a bird, right? But if you watch TV, that's going on for a while. So probably we would have to change that to something like puso la tele, he turned on the TV.
Okay.
Yeah, something that boom happened that truly interrupted. Yeah. See.
So cuando is for preterito, and then mientras is usually imperfecto. Is that the key?
Mientras is going to indicate imperfecto. Cuando indicates an interrupting event, and that is going to be preterito as a general rule. Sí. Eso es. That is their. Those are signal words for them. They're words that signal something happening right in the middle of it, or versus something that was going on for quite a while, which is mientras. Mientras idea. Okay. Otras ideas con las fotos. Any other ideas with these two about the kid writing? Any other ideas? Algo distinto, something different. ¿No? ¿O sí?
Su padre ayudó a hacer la tarea.
Su padre, sí, la ayudó a hacer su tarea. Bien, sí. Her dad helped her, la ayudó, helped her to do her homework.
But you can also make it into an imperfecto, right? Like
you could.
Marianne doing, right? Marianne, you're doing it in an imperfecto way.
Yeah, I said siempre.
Siempre la ayudaba, sí. Or la ayudaba siempre.
Yeah.
Con su tarea. That is a perfectly, yeah. Like I say, boy, there are very seldom any wrong answers, right? Su padre la ayudaba siempre con su tarea changes the idea to her dad always used to help her. And it's perfectly fine that way. Even if I took out the word siempre, because you used that verb ayudaba, they would get the idea of, oh, the dad helped her. And he did that more than once.
Right.
He was helping her. Maybe more details are coming later. Either he was helping her or he used to help her. That he did it a bunch of times. We're just not telling you how often. See, but these two are both perfectly valid, okay, correct sentences. But one, ayudó, indicates finality. That it was an event and now it's done. Whereas this, la ayudaba, that he was doing it or he used to do it. And it was a frequent kind of thing. Okay, so, and just using the verb that way puts that picture in the brain of the person you're talking to. It plants an idea of, is it a snapshot in time, one little shot, or is it like, I'm watching a movie and this thing was going on frequently. Bien, eso es. That's it. Okay, vale. Bueno, okay. La foto, ¿Qué piensan ustedes de la foto de la médica y su paciente? What do you think about the doctor and the patient?
La médica señaló los resultados.
Ah, la médica le señaló.
Señaló
She pointed out to
to
him.
him.
She la señaló, le señaló los resultados de las pruebas of the tests. Yeah, he had blood tests or something done, right? Le señaló los resultados. She pointed out to him the data, the results. Eso, sí? Or instead of señaló, because señaló means somebody's doing that. That's what it means. Somebody is doing that with their finger, right? You could also rephrase that with a different verb, but it still carries the same general idea. La médica le enseñó los resultados. I know enseñar means to teach, but showed him, or we could say mostró for sure. Mostrar means to show. Mostró. But those are all events.
How about explicó?
Explicó. También fantástico, ¿sí? Perdón, mostró. I want to leave some of those up for people who are going to watch later. Oui, mostró. Okay. Y sí, le explicó. Excelente. La médica le explicó los resultados. Exacto. Muy bien. Le explicó los resultados. Excelente. And we're just talking about an event. Right?
Sí.
Bien. Otra idea. That's not the only idea you might use for that, but
El hombre se puso las gafas para leer los resultados.
Eso sí me gusta mucho. Okay. He had to put on those glasses to read it. El hombre se puso las gafas para ver el informe. Let's just say the report, because it's a report. Yeah, el informe, los resultados, right? We could plug in any idea there. Sí, se puso, oh, he did this. Yeah. Bien. Excelente. Let me show you if we take that idea one step further, how it changes our communication a little bit. El hombre se ponía las gafas mientras, now I'm saying it's happening at the same time, ella le explicaba el informe. He was putting these on while she was explaining this to him. Might be a valid way to say that too, that these two things were happening at the same time. She started talking and he's like, oh my gosh, I gotta do this. He's putting them on. Yeah, sí, eso es. Okay. Bien. So there is not just one, but many things you can do. Nos quedan 7 minutos. So we got about 7 minutes left. Let me move on to something slightly different, because I'm going to have you look at this. I'm going to have you look at this. I'm going to send this to you as because it's self-correcting and it shows you what's right or wrong. I know. Ooh. And I did one of them to just test that this site was still working, because I had not looked at this site in a way. Okay. Should we do this one or should we do, oh, maybe we should do something a little more entertaining. Ricitos de oro. We'll do this one. This is a little more entertaining. Oh, ricitos de oro. Risito. Curls of gold. That means the story is about
Goldilocks.
Goldilocks. Y los tres osos. It's a little more entertaining. But again, this is going to be great because it's not going to force you to go through a conjugation table. You're going to be given one of two choices. Okay, one or two choices. And when you click, the box will show you whether you were correct or not. And remember, this is telling a story, so it'll flip back and forth. And this one, I think, actually might even have a few where they give you, either could be right, and they tell you why. Okay, but I want to show you one thing. Whenever we tell stories, whether it's a kiddie story or a legendary story like La Llorona or anything like that, many times we've got this expression in English of once upon a time. Yeah. And in Spanish, there are actually two ways that might be expressed, but one of the ways I'm not going to give you because it's a subjunctive thing. It's complicated. I'll tell you someday. Once upon a time is expressed with haber and una vez. There was a time. We say as once upon a time is expressed in Spanish with haber, there was or there were. There was a time, okay? So if you want to say once upon a time, 3 bears, do we need hubo or había? We're saying once upon a time, había, right?
Yeah.
This phrase of once upon a time, one of the two ways is expressed is había una vez. And it's never, 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 never hubo una vez, because hubo is reserved for events like a car crash, like a fire that started, like maybe a meeting, a meeting that took place in a certain room, okay? A meeting, a fire, an accident, those are events, but bears are not an event, okay? Había una vez 3 osos que, 3 bears who lived in a forest. Do I need vivieron or vivían?
Vivían.
Vivían. If I say there were 3 bears that lived in the forest, there is no emphasis on they lived there in this year or just during the summer, but just they lived, okay? And most of the time, if we're not constraining it to a time period, vivían is the right way to think about that. So we're just going to go through the end of the sentence here. Había una vez 3 ojos que vivían en el bosque, and now we're going to tell who they were. Papá oso, mamá osa, papa bear, mama bear, y bebé oso. Okay, and now we're going to start with a clue. So do look for time clues when you go through this. Un día mamá osa. One day mama bear made chicken and rice soup. Hizo or hacía?
Hizo.
Hizo. And it's a completed action. How do you know it's a completed action?
Because she did it one day.
Because we have a specific time clue there. So throughout this story, there will be specific time clues, okay? And you should pay attention to that. Un día mamá oso hizo una sopa de arroz con pollo, and she put 3 plates or bowls on the table. Do I need puso or ponía?
Puso.
Puso, because, how long does it take to take this and put it down. Yeah. It follows from one day she made a soup and she set out the bowls. So really, you could look at this as sequence of events. She made the soup and she set the table, right? Okay. And I will let you try the other ones out as you go along. I'm going to tell you as one clue though, because this one is going to be very deceiving. Mediodía means noon, right? Mediodía means 12 o'clock noon.
12 o'clock.
Okay, yeah, medianoche is 12 at night, 12 o'clock midnight. Mediodía is 12 o'clock noon. Okay. I'm going to give you one little clue. Oddly enough, because we haven't emphasized this, telling time in the past requires imperfecto. It just does. Don't think about why does it do that. It just does. When we tell time in the past, it has to go into imperfecto. It's just what they do. You just have to accept that. Okay? Bien?
Sí.
Bien? That is going to be a long, and it's going to be a multiple. Oh, it's going to be a long story. Wow. I thought there were 2 segments, but they give you, I think, 3 different segments. But it's a story you have heard before. It's a story you're familiar with. So you'll kind of have that feel going for you to help you along as well. And then, look at the reason that they give you in the little box when you click on the one verb or the other. This is a little easier story than the other one I was originally going to give you. I think it's more beneficial to do something more straightforward. Okay, está bien. I'm also going to give you another story to listen to, which will mix up those tenses so that you get lots of examples, because it does take a ton of time to get used to this. This is very normal. It's so normal. If you just were like, oh, I understand this all perfectly, I will tell you, people who have French as a first language find it a more natural transition because they have the same thing.
Right.
We don't. Well, we kind of do, but it's kind of lame compared to the version you get in Spanish.
But Hillary was still confused, even though she speaks French, right?
She was. I had it, and the only reason I say that, I had a French person in class a few years back, and she would be like, "Oh, this is nothing." But she was a native French speaker. She was like, "Oh, this is nothing. This is nothing." But yeah, I'm sure even Hillary even finds some of it kind of tough.
Right.
It's
right.
Yeah. Así es. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Gracias.
So,
Marilyn, I'm sorry that every Wednesday, I cannot come. I think I have to take turn every Wednesday. I can't come every Wednesday. And then if I come